about to walk this treadmill today. Again, let's get the hat straight, y'all. Get the hat right. Okay. I'm about to walk the treadmill today. Day two. I'm getting it in, boo. So, I'm gonna do, this is day two. I'm not gonna say how many days I'm gonna do, but this is day number 2. How about that? Okay. Day number 2 of doing 60 minutes on the treadmill. I did really well yesterday. So I'm gonna try it again today. And this is also gonna be really good for me, helping improve my trail walks and my hikes. So I do feel myself getting stronger and lighter. I feel good. I feel my core strength actually getting stronger. That's the part I feel, and my legs, because I'm getting older, honey. I need to work these legs, okay? So my legs are getting stronger, and my arms. I may do a incorporate weights live. I don't know, we'll see. But every day I'm doing something as far as a type of movement exercise. Okay, making it. I prayed and meditated to be able to have a lifestyle where I get up every morning, meditate, pray, and exercise, and then eat really healthy the rest of the day. I would like to be on a mostly raw diet. I'm not like raw vegetables. Not back to where I was, but if I do get there, there's nothing wrong with it. Because when I was raw vegan, I felt absolutely amazing. I would love to have that feeling back. Right now, today, I feel good, but not like when I was eating. I was mostly raw. Okay, so I am going to, don't plan to go back to doing mostly raw vegetables, but I've had me a really nice green smoothie this morning with my nutritional supplements, and I make sure these days that I do calcium and beetroot, because I always had like a little bit of anemia. So I do beetroot, calcium, and a complex B vitamin, because I don't eat meat, but as you can see, I haven't been eating the most healthy. But anywho, in the future, I am going to invest in sea moss, because my legs are starting to get a little stiff and stuff when I meditate. So stiff, and when I do long periods of meditation, starting to get stiff and feel somewhat a little uncomfortable. Oh, look at Alphabet. Hi, Alphabet. You pretty much have the same thing on here. I could almost pick out when you come. I see that blue at the beginning, and then like a crown and some hearts. So thank you for tuning in. It's really nice of you. So I am going to start incorporating sea moss. Sea moss is known to have 92 of the 96, I believe it is, minerals that your body kind of asks for, requires. So I'm going to invest in that. I do have a water bottle over here, but I got fancy, honey. I got one of these on sale. 2 of them. I got my daughter one. I love pink and purple. I do. I love all colors, but pink is really my favorite. Purple is the next. And then blue and then so on and so forth. So they didn't have two purple or pink. So I got my daughter a blue one. She got a dark blue. That way she can take it on a hike so it doesn't get dirty. The strap doesn't get really dirty. This one I couldn't take out. I have to take out my other one because it's like a light lavender. Really cute. So I filled this with water and I have this for backup. I'm gonna do day 2 of my 60-minute walk on the treadmill. This is a tiny treadmill that we ordered almost 2 years ago off of Amazon. I did a research on one that would accommodate my weight, which at the time 2 years ago was kind of pretty healthy, okay? Even more so than today. And then I like to jog, but I'm not gonna be doing that right now while I'm at this weight because I don't wanna make a lot of noise. And then, you know, but I like to jog too for a few minutes, at least 15 minutes of the treadmill. And I decided that I'm just gonna stay home and do some things because we've been moving about. We've been enjoying hikes, trails, getting out into nature. I don't even know how to say how thankful I am. I feel like, wow, have y'all seen some of the landscaping and the architect of nature? This is absolutely amazing. The best decor I've seen, okay? Some of the best design, the ultimate architectural design that I've seen has been absolutely amazing. We've just been enjoying nature. But today, I'm gonna try not to talk too much. But hey, I'm on YouTube. You gotta run your mouth, okay? Or have a silent live. And I have a lot of those anyways during meditation. So part way anyways. So I'm going to try this 60-minute walk on this treadmill. Y'all know I'm a tall gal, but if you were to invest in one of these small or even larger, see, this fits perfectly in our living space without interrupting the flow of things. And I have a couple of hand weights. I have another, let me show y'all this thing I ordered. Let's see here. Hold on. I ordered, I've had this I got this before I got this one. So I've had this probably right at 2 years. And this one, what is this? It's July. Next month will be 2 years for the treadmill, if not already 2 years. But this one I've had for 2 years. And and it has these little straps. It's the one that you get on and it's like for your waist. I'll do that sometimes too, but not often. It's been sitting there, it's dusty. But let me go ahead and start this walk. I'm tired just from talking. So maybe it's here. I was gonna leave it on. Kind of practicing for the hike, trails. Get used to carrying weight, because you have to carry a backpack for like with water and your snacks, and also put us like ponchos just in case it rains, and our backpacks and a lot of water. So you have to be used to start carrying weight when you're doing your hikes, your trail walks. So I'm gonna move this up. I may have to stop and get some tissue because I'm sniffling already. Every time I just did the not too long ago, had a smoothie and I put my supplements in there. I'm going to invest in sea moss here lately to incorporate in my smoothies so I can get more minerals, because I saw what is it, like on my feed, one of my feeds on one of these social media accounts where sea moss has, I think it's 92 of the 96, or is it 102? 102 minerals? Is it 96 of the 102 minerals that your body requires? Or 92 of the 96? I'm not sure. I gotta go back and look it over to be exact. But it's something within that ballpark, okay? So as far as, yeah, your body getting more of the minerals that your body needs. So that's gonna be my next supplement that I invest in. Because during meditation, I'm starting out at 1.5 on the speed. It's like getting into it, and then I'll increase the speed by 0.5 increments at certain stages of the 60 minutes. So yeah, but during my meditations, I've always been pretty limber. Easy to stretch. Since I was young, I've always did splits, stretches easily. That's why when I took karate, my brother on my dad's side, he's a black belt. And a really long time. My brother's so disciplined. He's black belt karate, and he was, but for all the time I've known him, he did karate really, really good. We used to walk to his school where he taught karate, and they're the coolest brothers, okay? When I think back, I really looked up to him. He was black belt. He made it to black belt, really, really good, very disciplined, really fit. And then when he graduated high school, he went off to the military. He went out of the country, and he's done some amazing things in the military. His wife is also a soldier, but he taught karate. So yeah, me, I've always been active. I always wanted to do little things. So he would be in there teaching, and my brother and I, who were close to the same age, we would walk to the school where he taught karate, and he would teach us some things, and me, I just wanted to do it because I've always wanted to be active and fit. And my brother, I feel like from his discipline on learning, going through all of those stages of karate, he's very disciplined, has always been disciplined in life. And it could have a lot to do with our dad too. But anyways, he's always been very disciplined, very strong mind. So when he went to the military, he just fit right in, okay? He's just a soldier. He's a soldier at heart, I feel like, from a young age. And anywho, I was more interested in the karate thing more so than my brother. Yeah, because I actually um, learned a lot of the things, and I feel like the karate moves and stuff, it kind of is a little more intense. You see that a lot in yoga, because I really like yoga too. But yoga is more, I feel like, depending on your level, I guess you could say. So if you kind of like being into that discipline of training from youth, then you probably have a stronger practice in yoga, you know, more on that side. But it's like, when I think about it, a lot of the karate moves that he taught was very similar to when you're moving to what you learn in yoga. It's just a little more relaxed for me. But my brother, that brother, he's really cool. He's very disciplined. Still, he's a retiree. I think his wife should have retired by now in the military. They both are soldiers. She should have retired maybe a couple of years ago. But yeah, but knowing them, they're somewhere working around certain soldiers, knowing those two, because they are soldiers at heart. All right, but anywho, yeah, so I remember I did a little bit of it from him, because he was teaching it. So even when I would walk to his school where he taught it, because it was in walking distance, and I would do a lot of the things. I would sit in the back, because he's a teacher, so he didn't have a problem with my brother and I being there, or if it was just myself, he didn't have a problem with us as long as we didn't interrupt the class. So I would sit in the back of the class or stand and follow along, and then after class is over, sometimes he would stay a little longer and show me some moves. So I feel like, because of my older siblings, I have a really diverse life. And so many things, like on my mom's side, a lot were into music, cooking. That's one thing I didn't get though. I'm not really into cooking. But anywho, yeah, it's a lot of, my life is very well-rounded, I feel like, and diverse. But yeah, and then when he went off to the military, yeah, he's pretty much been traveling with the military ever since. But yeah, him and his wife bought a house somewhere in the world. They came back a little bit closer to the United States. They purchased a home. But yeah. But anywho, it's really good to be active. Let's take this up to 2 minutes. We are at 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes. So in a few minutes, it'll be 10 minutes of walking already. So we're gonna take this up to 2.5. I'm gonna try and do what I can. All right, so yeah, I've always pretty much been active. All right, I'm going to talking about a lot of these things, my brothers, my sisters, and you forget about these things you've done so many moons ago. But I remember those days. I was so into karate. But a lot of the moves came easy to me because I've always been limber. And but now, body trying to stiff up a little bit, and I don't stretch as much. I really didn't have to for many years. I was just always stretchy. But now, as I get older, is beginning to stiff up. So I want to see if the sea moss makes a difference. Y'all, what's this bed? Slimming down. Now, a lot of people have based my life on my looks. I've never done that, okay? I've never been that, how do you say, shallow. Never done that. But a lot of people have judged me based on my looks. I remember my sister, I was having so many problems one time at this one job and also at this church that I was attending at the time. I hate to say church, but I'm not to say hate, but I don't like to use that word, church. Once you know what the real meaning of church is. But my mom always used to say, she going to the building. My mom never, ever, even when my brother and I, we would say church, she said, nope, you're going to the building. So there are some people who are actually walking in a certain light of truth that's really not acceptable, because you have to stick with the programming. If you don't stick with the programming, then you become a castaway. So, gotta be easily programmed and controlled. If you get out of the programming, then things will start to occur. If you don't like them or you can't handle them, then you'll get back in line, okay? So, yeah, but she's always walked in a certain truth that at an early stage in my life, you're young, you feel like you don't know much because you look up to a lot of people around you. But when you become of a certain age and you've experienced enough in life, you know, people can't tell you stuff and you just take it, okay? It's like, you'll look at them and listen to them, but it's like, you know the truth, okay? So, and then too, everybody's experience is not the same in life. But anywho, moms, what I always say, she's going to the building. She never said she's going to church. I've never heard her say, when we would go, I've never heard her say we were going to church. She would always say, we're going to the building. And she'd say, Tammy, don't you ever forget that the church is in your heart. You know, your church is in your heart. The church is in your mind. We are going to the building. So, and my dad too. So that some things that they learn from experience. But anywho, I was experiencing so many difficulties or challenges at one job and at this particular building that I attended. And my sister, one of my older sisters on my mom's side, said, Tammy, you can't help the way that you look and you talk. And I was like, you know, you can't help that. So you can't help how you look and how you talk. So in her mind, she knew why I was experiencing what I was experiencing. But me, because I didn't see myself, I guess, the way other people did, or I didn't give it too much attention as they did, I couldn't see where I was receiving different little treatments here and there, or challenges, we could say, in different places, because, yeah, because of that. But she knew right off the bat, even though at that time I didn't even accept it. I thought she was just running her mouth, you know. But later on, yeah, you like, maybe there's some truth in it. A little truth or a lot of truth. But anywho, that is that thing. But for the most part, I've always been active. Been active, so when I come on here, it's pretty much been a lifestyle. The older you get though, and depending on where you are in life, how life is going, you may or may not have more time to give to healthier practices. Because some people I look at and they want you to pay them for, which is good, depending on what you're trying to accomplish, then by all means do it. But they put themselves in a position, or life has granted them that way of life. Some people live in the gym. They go to the gym early in the morning and they stay for hours. They may go back and do something and go back, and you'll think that the body per se that they've accomplished, when you're younger, if you're really active and your DNA is a lot of that, you just naturally slim. Some people, even at a younger age, just naturally have more muscle. I was one of those. Even though I was really thin, I just go up. I didn't just run my mouth. Naturally had muscles most of my life. And right now, even if I lose weight, you'll see some muscles. Because it's naturally what's under the fat. Probably gonna have to build it up. But I moved a few times back a little bit, y'all, because my feet, when I got a little fast, the back of it was hitting my neck on the fall. But put it right here, so I got a nice view through the window. Really nice view from here. Don't have to worry about television, and I have on my earpods. Yeah, I could just go to town right here, walk on the treadmill. But anyways, I am also a really tall gal. I'm not over 6 feet, but I am tall. And taller than most women. So this is a miniature treadmill, which is very doable. And it's not as expensive as the bigger ones. And you can do the same thing on this, because I researched it, like the weight it will support. And I was at least probably 25 pounds heavier, maybe, because I was slimmed down some. But when I purchased this, and it also supports if you like to run, if you like to jog, you can also jog on it. And it's not going to malfunction really early, really quick. So we've had this 2 years, going on 2 years, I would say. probably about a month shy of 2 years. And yeah, it's really good. But I've always been active. My mom was really conscious of having healthy practices as well, because we always had like fruits in the refrigerator every day. You would see like bundles of grapes, avocados, even though I didn't eat them back then. She loved to eat, and I ate it too. She loved to eat like fruit with cottage cheese, and she ate a lot of that. So she had always had somewhat healthy practices. So I didn't really see her body begin to, I mean, you see it age, saw her age, but as her physical part, movement and stuff didn't begin to decline until she was like, I say after 75 years old. So it started to get a little shaky per se. And then when she hit 80, but even then she would still do things to try and keep her body active, but she was never like, the most she did was she was always working, doing something, or moving around. The most she did as far as exercise was dance. She didn't like get on a treadmill. As she got older, like around 78, 79, she had this pedaling device that she got from the, I guess, the doctor. So, but you know, as you age, I don't think you really know what your body's going to do. But if you have any type of control over it, I think you can develop healthier practices. If you are blessed to live longer days, you know, that you can develop habits that will better support you in your latter years on this earth. You know, but what I was saying before, you know, some people have the time where they dedicate their lives to the gym. They just do. Probably most of it. And when you look at them, you can tell. When you look at them, after they hit a certain age, now up until about, I'd say 28, sometimes you see a really fit person. It could be natural, but after that, you pretty much know when you see this really hard body, really from just looking, you're like, how did you do it? Yeah, they're in the gym. So either in their home or at a gym somewhere doing some type of practice that keeps them more fit. So, but depending on where you are in life and what kind of support you have, you know, you may not be able to dedicate a lot of your time to working out. If you do dedicate your time to making sure you get in some type of exercise, usually it's going to take away from your sleep, especially if you've decided, you know, late in the game. It depends where you are in life and what your lifestyle affords you to do. So, but some people, are just not exercising type of people. They just aren't. They'll look at you and get tired. Or look at someone exercising and like, you can have that. You know, in their mind, their mentality is just not up for that. But they may have strengths in other areas, because I was like, have I stuck out like with my brother teaching me karate younger and stuff, and all of the things that I had gotten into, I think I would have made a great soldier. You know, because I love that idea. I love, especially soldiers who are really active. They're just doing something with their body that, you know, they got to do a lot of movement, requires a lot of strength, agility. You know, I love that. I love movies like that. Action movies, action packed. I love that. I also love other kind of movies too. But those type of movies keep you at the edge of your seat, you know. But I would have been like, really, especially, I think I would have played a part like, probably thinking about the movies, okay. One of the best kept secret soldiers, where you look at them, you underestimate them, and when you challenge them, this really great champion comes out. You're able to do things naturally. I think like the Matrix, some of those movements people can actually do, you know. But I think those that just imagining it, they came up with like digital programs, digital computer programs of animated characters that can do those things. But there's some people, especially some children, you look at them and you're like, wow, their bodies can naturally do some amazing things. And so you have people, whatever their profession is, a skill that they've gained, acquired in life, you know, they can look at some people and it's like, wow, I can create an animated character or characters that can do these things. And then went as far as making movie productions out of it, you know. So people, I think we people are very amazing, amazing people. But in today's world, a lot of us are too busy to tap into that side of us. A lot of times it's somehow driven out of you at a young age. I remember my sister, which I looked up to, her name is Star. And you've either seen her in her younger age, and even now she is a star. So I looked up to her a lot. She did amazing things. Even at a young age, she was in gymnastics. That's where I got to do some of the gymnastics training, because my sister Star was a gymnast for years, and she could do some amazing things when she was younger. She was a gymnast, and I remember, you know, watching her. I admired her for many of the years, and then she got into like administrative work. That's where I started to tap into it, because I'm an administrative genius, a whiz, and I watched her. I remember she worked at the courthouse where we lived, and yeah, I looked up to her a lot throughout the years because she was really popular, very popular in our neighborhood and school, really, really popular. Of course, her name's Star. She's a star. So, anywho, yeah, but as time goes on, if you're not determined or you've gotten off track of focusing on areas that are really strong, because sometimes when, you know, you had to, certain stages, you add on certain responsibilities where you may be responsible for children, sometimes a husband, especially in the earlier days when a lot of women gave more attention to the household, like the children and the husband, even more so than now. But now, you know, a lot of women pursue their dreams and goals just as well as their mates. Some don't put their lives on the back burner anymore to only, most of the time, lose them once they get to a certain status in life. You know, they forget about what the mother or the female, the wife sacrificed so that they could get to that point. You know, they forget that the foundation that helped elevate them sometimes, you know, but yeah, so, but, and then sometimes, not all the times, but yeah, I know a majority of the time, you know, they will part their ways because of unreconcilable differences. But should the person have been in that area where they needed the type of support to help build them and never reach that status, then their differences would have been reconcilable. They become unreconcilable once a person gets what they want to say sometimes. But yeah, that's the way it goes. So you have to look at where you are in life, and you know, the reason you may not be at your healthiest could be coming from many different angles. You know, distraction, which sometimes will lead you to focus in areas you don't want to put all your energy toward, but you do. And before you know it, you look up and you're not as healthy and as active, as motivated, as energetic as you used to be, because as we say, life be life. But really it's because of the things that we allow most of the time that gets us off track of being our amazing, wonderful, great selves. Okay? Yeah, that happens a lot. So that's why in life I don't look at people and just judge them from the cover, you know, of the book without having a chance to having read or read a little bit of the book. You know, you need to be able to read some of it, but yeah, and that's why too, I've never been a person to just go off of what someone tells me about a person. Sometimes it's easy to do, like if the person is your mother, My mom, yeah, she kind of, very seldom did I see her, what I felt like was a little too early judgment, because my mom was very loving and kind of gave her life to, she never said it, but from watching her, she gave most of it to being a minister that was never per se ordained before people, but myself watching her and how she gave herself, her life for people, her children, how she sacrificed. She did, but very seldom. One instance I saw her, I felt like was a little bit, it wasn't really judgmental, but cautious, and which is understandable if you knew all the pieces to the story. But, you know, y'all not gonna get that. Don't tell everybody business. But, you know, so, but for the most part, I'm telling you, people just really love my mom. She loved having a lot of people around her. She loved that. And she said it was her duty to be a light in this world. And that's what she dedicated her life to. She didn't have a platform. Neither did she desire one. That was the cool thing about her. She didn't desire, nor did she work to build like this platform. But a lot of the people who know her, like me from a child just watching her, I saw her get a lot of mistreatment, a lot. And she never complained. I never saw her complain. And then I felt, you know, whatever you experience and it bothers you, you don't think it's light. But I would go to her and say this and that, and she'll be like, Tammy, she's like, God say vengeance is his. You don't worry about stuff like that. So she kind of embedded that in me for a lifetime, in which I got to experience and see what she was talking about. You know, she was like, sometimes it happens really, really quick. You don't have to try to pay people back or be so hurt because of how people treat you. You have to keep going. You know, she used to always say, don't allow yourself to be a footstool. And it's like, you know, be a footstool, allowing people to just, or a doormat, you know. She used to say footstool. She used to say doormat. You know, allowing people to just walk all over you. But I used to see people come up to her, especially really young, when she and I, we was always together a lot. And she never tried to, like, debate people. She never argued. You never saw her get in an argument. And I'll tell you, I saw a video the other day, and it was so funny. I'm like, my mom did a very similar thing to my brother. Once we started, my brother is older than I, so he reached the working age before I did. And he didn't seem interested in going to college or anything. Nowhere he was nowhere interested in it. So my mom was like, you're gonna work. And he gave off this attitude or this energy like he wasn't interested in working. So one day, you know, once they reached a certain age, she was like, if you're not working, you can't stay in this house after a certain time. You gotta go out. So she told my brother, he was an adult, good an adult. Because all of my other older brothers, they worked. You know, it was just my younger brother and I, that was the three of us that was left in the house at that time. So he was older than my brother and I. So she had put him out the house so he can go look for work. And I don't know how she knew he had left the window open to his room. And I don't know if my brother told him, because they shared a room together. Or I don't know if my brother told her. So when she knew. So somehow she put the water hose through the window. And he thought he was hiding under the bed, under his bed. And she didn't know it. So, well, she had extra beds in that room because it was a really large room, just in case somebody came and needed one of our families needed a place to sleep or it was a vacation. So she had extra beds in there. But anywho, she put the water hose through the window and she loved to garden. So she had one of the ones that had that spray head at the top where you can cut the floor off and cut it on. So my brother was under the bed. She put him out early in the morning to go look for work. And he was asleep under the bed. She squirted the water on him and said, get him under there. That was the funniest thing. I feel like our family is comedy. Some of the things that occur were pretty common. He said, get him right there. Uncle Tom, when she called me, it wasn't anything bad, but it was funny. But anywho, I remember he got from under the bed and ran out of the house. He was soaking wet. That was so funny. Wait. But I saw this video on TikTok where I think it was the mother told the son to take out the trash, and he was lying down on the porch, and the trash hadn't been taken out. Because she got the water hose and wet him up. He jumped up running. But that reminded me of that instance. That was so funny. So, y'all, we're about here 45 minutes. I may be taking it up a little too soon, so I don't want to get too fast. So, we'll do 3.3. And once it gets maybe about the last 10 minutes. Right now I'm on 44.50 seconds. 44 minutes, 50 seconds. Last 10 minutes I'll take it up to 3.5 miles per hour. So here we go. We are walking. But yeah. But she I don't saw her really. Saw her take more than she dished out. Yeah, we still got 15 minutes. I hit the thing. Hold on. Let's go for 15 more minutes. I laid the water bottle down. Yeah, it has an emergency stop function. Like, it goes over this little piece. It's magnetic. And if you take it off, it'll stop. So it has an emergency feature, which I just utilized, not unintentionally. Okay, so we got 15 minutes left because it was at just about to hit 45 minutes. And I had it at 3.3, so I'm back at 3.3 miles per hour. And now, once it gets to 5 minutes, with 10 minutes to go for the last 15 minutes, I'll put it to 3.5. Yeah. Now I got on knee pads because I told y'all my body is stiffing up. So I do my stretches. I put on the knee pads to give me some more support because I'm heavier and these bones are older. Okay? Yeah. Here we go. Now I'm doing the walk. Walk that walk, honey. Walk the walk. You gotta get up, move your body. So, even if you are an older person, even older than I, and you want something to do, you can get one of these inexpensive treadmills and walk. It'll help your heart and it'll oil your bones per se, because now you got more movement. Yeah, it'll help you to even grow older more gracefully, you know. But I'll start out slow. You can put it on 0.5 and then increase by 1 point and gradually see what's comfortable for you. Just because you're older doesn't mean you have to stop moving and just think you have nothing else to do in life. Because, you know, most older individuals have a lot of wisdom that a lot of us can benefit from. So if you are moving your body, you start to feel better. And look, I'm in the house and just moving. And yesterday, I felt kind of groggy. I don't know, could have been from a number of things. But after I finished walking yesterday, I felt better and I had more energy. So, you know, you can increase it by 1.1 and you can walk your regular speed on it and move. You can start with 3 minutes or even 2 minutes and increase it so that your blood really gets to pumping more. You know, you're able to do more. So, and then this helps you to do more things yourself as well. If you're afforded to live a lengthy life, do something to keep moving your body. And yeah, so I know when my mom really could stand long periods of time, she got like this bicycle pedaling device that she sat on a chair and she used it, and that kept her going. So, but she really wasn't per se a person who would like, I'm gonna walk for 30 minutes, I'm gonna do this for 30 minutes. But for me, I've always exercised. I remember when my ex-husband and I were together, one time we lived right across from this park. And let's take it off. We lived right across from the park, and I would always go jog around the park every day, and then come home and do sit-ups. And he would hold my feet down while I do sit-ups. For some reason, he liked that part. Okay? But that was a long time ago. So, yeah. But, yeah. I'm up 3.5, and we have a few more minutes. We'll be at an hour. Okay? I pulled the emergency stop at 45 minutes. So I'm doing my last 15 minutes to make my 60 minutes walk on the treadmill. It feels good though. Walking, walk that walk, honey. Walk the walk, walk, walk. If you gonna talk the talk, walk the walk. Okay, so here we go. We're up to 8 minutes. So we got 12 minutes left for 60 minutes. Yeah, I haven't even taken a sip. Yesterday, I took a couple. Ooh. I do want to stay hydrated. And I have my yoga blocks to help me with stretching. And I have on these knee pads so that the floor is not so hard on my body, or I'm not so hard on the floor. Whichever one you want to look at. Okay. things that are hard to break from when you're younger too. Because my mama was a discount shopper because she had to be, you know, with the number of children she had. But she mastered discount shopping. So I noticed my oldest sister stayed that way until her last days. She was a discount shopper as well. She knew how to find a bargain. So even after she reached an economic status where she could afford pretty much anything she wanted, they were still discount shoppers, but they put their money, they like to travel, so that's where a lot of their funds went. My sister loves travel and do things. It's still, some days, it's been a little over a year, right at a year, just a little past a year, 2 years since my sister passed. Sometimes it's still like, I can't believe it. I got a picture up in the room so I can see every day. She and my mom's. But it's like, I can't believe it. That my sister is not here like in the physical anymore. And still sometimes can't believe it. I didn't get to say, see you later. But wow, it's something. But she was a discount shopper, like my mom. But I think I am a discount shopper as well, but I don't purchase a lot of used items. I just look for items that are on sale, and I don't purchase a lot of like used items. Yeah. Yeah. Almost like a minute and a half left. Now, I'm going to be at about 60 minutes at 3.5 miles per hour on the treadmill. Okay. So, yeah, the handles keep you balanced. hear it making that noise. Treadmill, the rolling device. Cause I am stepping, baby. Stepping. Okay. So we are at 60 minutes. And I'm gonna not abruptly do the emergency stop. I am going to decrease the speed for about a minute or two. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb today, so I wouldn't get any calls or texts during this live. I didn't know how to do it, but Siri knew. Siri knew how to do it. Okay. Let's go down 2.5. You can even stay here at 2.5. Just move your body to 1.5. Wherever you feel comfortable. But don't give up your journey of having a healthier lifestyle because someone else seemingly is doing it better than you or more advanced than you, or looks like, because you don't know, your lifestyles are different. You may get started, fall off, get back on, join a lot of us out here. The key and the goal is to never give up. You just jump right back on wherever you are and dedicate yourself to being the best you can be at every stage and every age in your life. You don't have to feel ashamed breaking it down to 2 miles an hour. You have to be ashamed of where you are in your life, how you look. Embrace you, love you. Honey, be your biggest cheerleader. My mom always taught me that. She always said that ever since I was younger. And because, too, my mom is very, very fair-skinned. And very fair-skinned. And I am of a darker complexion. Much darker. And she always made me feel good about being my complexion. There are some people that didn't, but thank God that for the most part, I had a mom who had really high self-esteem. She wasn't arrogant, she wasn't big-headed, but she really loved herself. And I learned where she gets it from. And I, since then, we did our cool down. I did, 3 minutes? I'm gonna stop it. We can do the emergency stop. I'm not gonna do that. But she got her the way that she loved herself from the Divine Most High. And I learned that, y'all. I read up a sweat again, okay? I didn't even drink my water. I'm gonna take this with me today. I gotta go through some things, so I have that water with me. And she loved herself, you know, a healthy self-love. And I learned from watching her, walking closely with her, and then my own experience, how you get that healthy self-love. You don't have to wait for people to build you up. Sometimes you do get down and it's like that's only natural. And the Most High will somehow pick you back up if that occurs in every area, whether it's through life just happening, lifing, as some people say. When life is lifing, God is also guiding. The Most High is also Most Highing. Yeah. And I learned from my mom that there is nothing more powerful than source energy, than the Divine Most High. Nothing more powerful and stronger than God. And she based her life on it. I based my life on it. And, you know that there is a higher power that no one can control. And you, as long as you stay connected to that higher power, you'll be just fine in life at every age, every stage. Even, sweat, y'all. Even in my mom's last days, I didn't see her complain. The first time when I walked in, because I was, moved to Atlanta, and would drive back home sometimes, but not as often because I was so excited about the new place, okay? But that's how I didn't know about my sister. Man, that's a bummer. But anyways, when I saw my mom in her last few years, where her body had really changed, and I walked in the room, and she said, "Timmy, ain't God all right? Ain't God good?" I would tell her, "Yes, ma'am, Mom." But I just cried the whole visit. And when I left, I didn't even pull off right away because I was booing. But through it all, Mama, that lady was just a trooper. I never saw her complain because now I don't know if she had somebody that she talked to, complained to, but I feel like she and I spent a lot of time together, okay? Especially in my growing up days. And I remember she would always thank me for once I hit adulthood, she would always thank me for being responsible, a responsible adult. She would always do that a lot. I guess thank me for not burdening her so much. But, but she would tell me, thank you. But I never saw her complain, but she knew the source. She knew her source energy. She knew God. She knew the Divine Most High, whatever your name may be for that higher power, God. I believe there's only one true and living God, one source energy at the top of everything. But she knew that's where she got her strength from, her self-love from. She didn't wait for people to come by and build. And my mom was really, really pretty, but I never saw her be superficial. Really, really pretty lady. And I never saw her be superficial. I never saw her trying to wear the latest things and do this and do that, but at the same time, took very good care of herself. Dressed very well, have really good hygiene. So, but at the same token, I never saw her be superficial because she's so pretty. She could have been a model. She could have been in different things that went toward beauty, but she wasn't into that. But her life was dedicated to being a beacon of light for the divine Most High. And that's what she did. She dedicated her whole life as much as she could to that. And we know that life sometimes throws things at you that you deal with it the best way that you can. You make it through those episodes of your life the best way you can. And you get there. And you'll find as you grow, as you get older, that people are very much more judgmental than source energy. And when you think of source is everything derives from source. Everything. The source of this, the source, everything. So if you don't know how to equate God to source energy, then that's on you. But so yeah, but people are very much still people, especially people are trying to. When I come on here, I'm not trying to build an image. I don't tell you the truth. I don't give a hoot to toot what people think about me. Okay, I know that we all are out here doing life the best way that we can. And I'm glad that I was able to come to that conclusion. You know, some people do have a bigger support group than others, that things come to them a little bit easier, things don't hit them as hard. But if you have things that hit you hard in life and you're able to get through it, bounce back, do what you do, honey, you better learn to give your own self a pat on the back, okay? So, in this life, if you haven't given up, you're winning. I don't care if you're on the corner asking people for $1. At least you set aside your pride. If that's what you really need, that dollar, and you set aside your pride because at that moment you're not able to get that dollar, but you got enough to ask for it, or ask for even a bottle of water to quench your thirst, you do that. If you're not able to go buy a keg of water, cases of water, you thank God just wherever you are in your life. I'm telling you. Don't worry about what people think. Be you. Be the best you can be at every stage and every age of your life. Be strong, because you are strong. Sometimes you don't even know how strong you are because you're always comparing yourself to other people. Cut that out. You know, you don't know how people deal with life, how they're making it through. People don't tell you everything, and they're not. Trust me. People, they're not gonna tell you, honey. If you can look into the lives of some of these people, you'll stop being so hard on yourself. But anywho, y'all, I'm gonna get off of here and get on with my day. Get on with my day. But Just be, and I'm telling you, be good to you. Because if you are not good to you, don't expect anybody else to be. And don't think all the time that getting your hair done and your nails done is the only way to be good to you. What you think about yourself is being good to you. Think positive thoughts, because the Most High thinks the best of you, thinks the greatest of you, so you should think the best of you. You know, thinking more highly of yourself than you ought to think, you determine what that is. Don't let other people determine that for you. I used to hear, when I used to watch TV, Oprah Winfrey would say, don't give other people the pen of your life to write your life story. You write it. You write it. But I am so glad that my mom taught me how and showed me how to enjoy life. It doesn't mean always going to a party or spending every dollar you got, acting a fool. No, some people show you and they want to give you that image of that's how you enjoy life. But thinking good thoughts about yourself, doing things to better yourself in your life, making healthier decisions, because when you do that, you're gonna be happy after those decisions. You're gonna be happy after those thoughts. Even if you're not able to go do some of the grandest things that other people are doing, but if you learn to be good to yourself, starting internally, the way you think, what you do for yourself, you are going to exhibit a happy you. And you're, at the end of the day, when it's time for you to say your prayers and go to bed, you're going to be happy with you, because you've learned how to be strong with you. You've learned how to be happy with you and not dependent on others. And I'm sorry, I got a super strength in that. I had to develop it at a young age. And thanks be to the divine Most High and my God. I don't rely on, never did. I'm sorry, I'm not a cliquey kind of person. Never have been, never will be. So, but anywho, y'all, I learned how to get on with the get on, okay? But y'all, I'm done my 60-minute walk on the treadmill and talk. So, and I'm about to get on. Thank y'all for stopping by. We have Alphabet that always stops by. Somebody else, I think I've seen them on here before. Their message was restricted, and I don't unrestrict it if YouTube does it. And then they put another comment, says, hey friend, I'm using a translator. Are you Spanish or English? Well, I'm sure if you stay here for the duration of this live that you've figured that out. Okay, so y'all, I am going to go on with my day. Peace and beautiful blessings. And remember to take time out of your life to get into the presence of the divine Most High, so you can get what is specific and tailor-made just for you, so that you can get your cup full, all right? And you can begin to experience a more elevated living today, okay? Today. All right, I love y'all. Peace and beautiful blessing. Until the next live, the next video, or the next short. Peace. I love y'all. Peace and